Nestled in a charming Parnell street is the handsome 1920s weatherboard property at the centre of all this scrutiny.
I think there's a difference between buying a house for a Vice-Chancellor and buying a $5 million mansion.
That's Isabella Lenihan-Ikin, National President of the New Zealand Union of Students' Associations. The house doesn't impress her. It's got 4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, a floor area of 338 metres square. But rather than describe it ourselves, let's cut to a superlative-laden internal university memo that sums up this, quote, superior residence.
Our highest ranked property. This is a lovely home in Parnell on a quiet side road with views down to the bay. Lovely houses around and some sea views. The house has lovely modern living areas downstairs with easy flow to external spaces which are secure and beautifully presented. The home has a great atmosphere which hits you as you walk in. Outdoor living areas include a pool, spa, gardens and flat lawn area which are manicured, private and secure.
This top property was top choice for the new VC, Dawn Freshwater, and the university, based according to the same memo on location, general features, aesthetic feeling and it being a solid long-term investment. It was also the most expensive on the short list of 3, whittled down from more than 20. Most were ruled out because they were in neighbouring Remuera and not Dawn Freshwater's preferred location of Parnell. Also specified easy access to Auckland's eastern bays, less than 3 k's to the uni, a large master bedroom including ensuite and walk-in wardrobe, and space to entertain up to 25 people. The purchase price, $5,062,500, a number the university tried to bury behind a confidentiality agreement. A house of that size and value in the location it is, give me a ballpark about what you think would probably be the rent for a week.
Yeah, well, I would say around $2,500–3,000.
Okay, what if I told you that information released to Checkpoint shows that the Vice-Chancellor is paying just over $1,100 a week?
Yeah, well, again, I think that this is absolutely disgusting.
So for this superior property in one of the city's most exclusive inner city suburbs, Vice-Chancellor Dawn Freshwater is paying just $1,144 a week in rent, according to a lease agreement released to Checkpoint under the Official Information Act. Here's Isabella Lenihan-Ikin again.
Students would live in houses where they pay $1,100 in total for a house. That would probably be for about 4 to 5 people. They'd be paying between $200 and $300 a week. And that would not be within the proximity that the Vice-Chancellor is living. They would have to catch, buses, often multiple buses in order to get to university. And we'll be living in a situation that is definitely not comfortable or luxurious. They will be living in cold rooms and will be just able to scrape by, especially given that the government support will not even cover the cost of their rent. So they will be having to live in very poor situation.
So to be clear, no pool?
Definitely no pool.
No spa?
No spa, no walk-in wardrobe.
So why so little in rent for what some describe as a mansion? Well, we will break that down for you shortly. But the arrangement has also caught the attention of the Auditor General, the country's top watchdog. In a letter to the university, the AG's office explains why.
We're interested in this transaction because it relates to the university's use of resources. In particular, on the basis of the information that has been reported so far, there may be a sensitive expenditure element to this arrangement. Sensitive expenditure is the term that we use to describe any spending by a public organisation that could be seen as giving some private benefit to an individual staff member that's additional to the business benefit to the organisation of the spending.
The Auditor General's already asked for copies of the sale and purchase agreement, rental valuations and various internal emails. And it's also requested additional details about how prospective properties were scored and the university's capital expenditure policy. So back to the question of why a swanky $5 million house is pulling in a little more than $1,100 a week in rent. A rental evaluation obtained by the varsity assessed the gross rental value of the house at $2,000 a week. But then came a series of deductions, minus $400 a week for a basement room and ensuite that might be used by university guests, minus another $560 a week for areas of the house that are not exclusively for personal use, like a home office, living areas, and the foyer, where the VC might be greeting and entertaining university guests, bringing its recommended discounted weekly rent to $1,040. And there's a caveat. The assessment says if the house is furnished, tack $200 a week back onto the rent. And it appears from the tenancy agreement the house did come furnished with these chattels at least.
Dishwasher, fridge, freezer, washing machine, family room, couch and cushions, 2 wall-mounted TVs, exterior marble-top table, 2 leather chairs, 3 leather tabletops, pool accessories, 5 kitchen bar stools, dining table and 8 chairs, outdoor speakers, meeting table, queen-size duvet cover, queen-size bed.
So the heavily discounted rental assessment comes in at around $1,240, about $100 more a week than the VC is actually paying. The going rate for a university VC is between $400,000 and $800,000 a year. The last one at Auckland University was paid around $700K. Documents released to Checkpoint show the university intended charging Dawn Freshwater market rent, but with a discount for holding uni functions at the $5 million plus house. The university's chief financial officer notes in a November email.
A market-based approach seems the best, unless there is a portion of the house which is required for hosting functions, etc.
There's discussion about what the old Vice-Chancellor paid and how discounting the rent could have tax implications, unless they can show it's being used for functions too. The Chief Financial Officer flags the issue.
IRD take an active interest as well, due to it potentially being seen as part of remuneration.
So cut price rent for entertaining. But how often and on what scale in order to get an almost 50% reduction in rent on a $5 million property? The Auditor General's asking exactly the same questions, requesting the university provide details of proposed entertainment and past functions hosted by previous Vice-Chancellors. Under the heading Proposed Hospitality with Professor Freshwater for 2020-2021, the university lists 8 donor dinners. The details of who and how many people are invited is blanked out. There were 6 proposed stakeholder dinners. Most have 4 or fewer guests listed. The largest, 10. Do you think that warrants such a significant discount in rent?
Not at all. I think that, there's probably many venues at the university itself that be able to hold such meetings.
Now COVID-19 and a new financial landscape has forced a change of heart from Auckland University and this statement.
The Vice-Chancellor has recommended to the Chancellor and the Council that they consider selling the university residence. The Vice-Chancellor believes it is beneficial for the capital value of this university property to be returned so that it can help reduce the university's debt. In addition, the university has not been able to use the property as a venue for fundraising events as intended due to the pandemic.
The New Zealand Union of Students' Associations reckons selling what it calls the Parnell mansion is the only option, saying a Vice-Chancellor can afford to find their own rental.
It just seems utterly extraordinary. It's completely unacceptable for the university to be providing such luxury for the Vice-Chancellor.
And Auckland University says its forecast loss in 2023 is $7.5 million. And the VC was not available for an interview on Checkpoint this evening.